Welcome back to My View. As we just heard from our panel of business owners, the administration's tariff strategy is changing the game on global trade. Nations are lining up to negotiate, and President Trump gave them a 90-day reprieve as a reward. But when it comes to China, the battle is just getting started. And in the wake of this week's stock market swings, consumers are still a bit uneasy. So will prices go up? Will jobs come back to the U.S. from overseas? What will happen next? It's time to ask the expert Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. Secretary Lutnick, thank you so much for joining us. There's so much talk about tariffs right now, and I want to start with a tweet, and this goes back to the days of 2014 from President Trump. He says, "Deals are my art form. Other people paint beautifully or write poetry. I like making deals, preferably big deals. That's how I get my kicks." Secretary Lutnick, this is the deal maker of all deal makers. So what is your message to the naysayers out there who are a little worried about the tariffs right now? President Trump is in the driver's seat, is he not?
Oh, he's totally in the driver's seat. You see, we are the consumer for all the goods in the world. We have a $29 trillion GDP in America, and we consume $20 trillion. So China needs to sell us directly and indirectly $1 trillion worth of goods. So we are the buyer, and you know the buyer's in control. So President Trump understands that, he knows it, and he thinks, and he's totally correct, that the world's economies, these world's countries, have just been treating us unfairly and taking advantage of us. And as he said, it's time for America first, and it's time to fix those trading deals. And this is where Donald Trump shines in a way that no one else in this world ever shines.
Yeah, and Howard, I just have to ask you, do you think there would have been any other president in our lifetime who would have had the guts to do this? Because President Trump acknowledges, look, this is tough stuff. No one else has ever been able to do something like this. Would any other president have been able to do it?
No, I mean, think about it. Donald Trump's been thinking about this for 40 years, and every other president just came and went. He knows that we are selling our soul to all the other countries in the world by running these giant trade deficits, and he needs to fix it. So he's really fighting for my children and my grandchildren, all of our grandchildren right now. This is what he's doing. He's fixing trade with America. He's going to launch our ranchers, our farmers, our fishermen. Manufacturing is going to come back to America. This is what needed to happen to America. We were being hollowed out. Our factories were all overseas. We're the smartest country in the world, but our factories, everything was being made overseas. And then we were running these giant deficits, and everyone was buying us. Think about it. In 1980, we owned more of the rest of the world than they owned of us. And now this year, the rest of the world owns $18 trillion more of us than we own of them. It's just not right. And thank God Donald Trump's in the White House, because he's the only president who would ever take this on and fix it for America.
Well, you know, you guys have made a lot of headway. There have been 75 countries who have come and said, look, we want to negotiate. But from the White House, we're hearing that these are going to be tailor-made deals, Secretary. So what does that mean? Do you have to sit down individually with each of the 75 countries? Is that how it's going to work?
Absolutely right. We have to sit down with each one, and when I leave here, I'm going right to another trade meeting. They're back to back to back to back to back, and that's how it's going to go. But President Trump said he's going to participate in the top 10 or 15 countries, and he's going to make the deals because he can understand their economies the best, and he can, sort of really tailor-make that rule so that we get the best. It's a great deal for America, but also he wants to make it fair for the other countries. It's going to be very tricky, but these are great, great countries like Japan and South Korea and Europe. I mean, these are huge economies who have just been taking advantage of us. I mean, we couldn't sell a car in Japan, in South Korea, or in Europe. So we've got to change the rules, break those markets open, and let American ingenuity and American entrepreneurship rise and shine in the world. It's time, and thank goodness Donald Trump has our back.
Thank goodness. Well, the one country who hasn't been willing to play ball seems to be China. You guys have now imposed these retaliatory tariffs on China. What's been your advice to President Trump, though, Secretary, when it comes to dealing with China? Because it's pretty clear they're trying to play hardball right now.
Well, they are the ones who've been playing hardball all along. You know, President Trump said we have a $1.2 trillion trade deficit. This is the largest trade deficit of any country in human history. $1.2 trillion we're trading away from ourselves. And you know what? If you take China directly and indirectly, you know, they sell their stuff, they sell their goods to Vietnam, who sells it to us. They sell it to Thailand, who sells it to us. If you add all that up, it's just under $1 trillion. So that all comes from China. Donald Trump, the president, is calling them out. He's taking them on. He says, look, you're not treating us right. You're always attacking us. It's time for us to take it head on, fix it, and resolve it and take care of America. So he's called it out. I think it's exactly right what he's doing.
Well, I just, to end here, want to maybe give people a little insight into you. You know, you are now in this very big role at a very important time as Commerce Secretary. But if you go back to September 11th, 2001, you were the chairman of Cantor Fitzgerald, and your company lost over 600 people. You were the largest loss of any company on September 11th when the plane hit the North Tower of the World Trade Center. You also lost your brother on September 11th. I wonder, Secretary, you must think every single day of all the people in your company, of your brother, and now in this very important role, you know, I wonder if you think back to them all the time.
I do. You know, they are with me all the time. And so when you see those hostages in Israel, my heart breaks for them. When we see jihadists all around the world causing harm, my heart breaks for them. So what it's driven into me is empathy. We need to take care of Americans. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to protect our military and understand how unbelievably important our military is for us and for our freedom. Never take it for granted. Freedom is not remotely free. The men and women of our armed forces are protecting us. Our president is the strongest president ever. And I just can't be more proud to be American right here, right now.
Well, we are so lucky to have you serving in this, again, very important role right now in our country. So, Secretary Howard Lutnick, thank you so much for taking a little time for us at MyVO.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.